You're a good person. It's important that I tell you that. This entire podcast is built around an acronym that I made for the word YIELD. It stands for Yes, I Envision Love Demonstrated. This acronym has helped me a ton in my work, school life, and in pursuing my passions and being able to help other people, as well as growing my habits and becoming a better person. My biggest hope is that this podcast will help you to treat the opportunities and the people in your life differently. Learn to yield today, and it'll be a better tomorrow. What's up, everybody? This is Dallin, Candland. We're back with Yield Today, episode number 25. Holy cow, the podcast has a quarter of a century episodes. That is insane. I've really tried to put a lot of value into each of these episodes, so go back and listen to the other ones. But from this point forward, I'm really trying to podcast with a more specific focus in mind and really trying to help you all take more purposeful action in your lives and ultimately become better people. And again, doing the same thing that I said in the intro, to envision your life differently, see people differently, and ultimately live differently. Because if you see things differently, you'll act differently. You totally will. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about yield and why yield exists, what yield means to me, and basically some steps so each of you can start yielding today, like literally yielding today. You know how I say, like, hey, yield today? Like, this is it. This is your episode. If you've been wondering what I'm talking about, this episode's for you. So I hope you enjoy. The first step is purposeful creation. For me, my beliefs, I believe that I'm a child of God with infinite worth and a real purpose for being here on this earth. To make a difference, to learn, to grow, to build up other people, and to share my talents and abilities. And just as I've been purposefully created, I need to purposefully create. And so when I was back in like high school, this purposeful creation was like, okay, I need to study for this Latin test. I need to study right now or I'm going to fall behind. You know, so it's this kind of thing. You see, you know what can happen if you take that purposeful action. And for me, like, creating has brought so much joy in my life, like starting this podcast, starting my first YouTube channel, doing my book. There's sacrifice that's associated with creation, well, purposeful creation, but it's always worth it. And this is a wonderful thing for me to remember, because when I do these things on purpose, it reminds me that I'm here on purpose because God has a purpose for me being here. And just as he does for me, he does for all of you too. And whatever you might believe about that, I don't really think it matters a ton. You're still a creator. There's still tons and tons of people who are trying to find value in what you do. If you take the time to say, all right, well, this is what I want to accomplish, and this is what I'm going to do to get there, and this is what I'm going to create today to get me a little bit closer. That could be a plan. That could be really anything. It could be a drawing. It could be just talking to somebody about your dream, and it could be doing a number of different things. But the thing is, when you start taking these steps, it will snowball. Lately, this past week has been insane for me because I created my entire week on purpose last week. I tracked every single hour of last week, and I tried my best to follow the schedule. Did not happen. But you know what? I still made a ton of progress. Did a very meaningful 1-hour mentor call with my Uncle Mark about this podcast. I also got to do a mastermind call with some of my friends, including Yenge Magpongo, who was on a previous episode of Yield Today about business and dream chasing and stuff. It was great. I also got to be on my very first podcast interview with the Church Parking Lot podcast. It was super fun, and I'm excited to share that interview with you all. It's been really good, and I'm very excited for this week. This week has already been good, and I'm very excited for the future of it. So that's the first thing, is just remembering you're created on purpose, taking time, and making the efforts to do the same. You know, going out and helping somebody, that's creating a moment of hopefully helping them, or a door to be friends with them down the road. You do these things on purpose and you serve out of the goodness of your heart. Number 2 kind of goes along with it. It's abundant compassion. Just knowing that every single person has struggled so much in their life to get to where they're at. And so many people haven't realized their true potential yet. Actually, none of us have. None of us that are on the earth today have done that. But we're all trying. And so remembering that your message and all the stuff that you're doing in your life can help somebody with reaching their full potential, that is just amazing to me. I am amazed that there is that opportunity to help people to reach their potential and to become more of themselves than they already are. I would say that in a very big way, I've been influenced by so many people I've never even met in this life. People I've read their books, I've read their quotes, I've prayed about things they said, and it's helped me. It's helped me grow. It's helped me have more compassion on others. For me, something I've done to show abundant compassion for people is if I care about somebody, I write their name down. So when I was at college, I was writing a ton of names down for people I met. Because if I didn't write their name down, that meant to me that I didn't really care a ton about meeting them. And there are some people that I cared about them, but I wouldn't write their name down because I just wouldn't. And I kind of regretted those moments because I could still pray for them. It never hurts to pray for somebody. But there's so many different things you can do. For me, like doing this podcast is a labor of love, and it helps me have more compassion when I'm out and about doing life because I know that the podcast has helped people. So it helps me open up to random strangers, but I have a podcast, or, to other people on Twitter. I've been sharing my podcasts lately more, and people have, had some interest, and, I hope that this helps some of those people. So that is abundant compassion. 3 is just shine by being around others who shine. And it's kind of going along with all the other things. Like if you're around people who are loving and that build you up, it's going to help you so much in your life. I remember when I was back in high school, before I got on the track team, I had some friends and they weren't the best influences on me. Once I got on the track team, I was so busy in practices and stuff and just homework and everything, and my mindset was changing because I was pushing myself to the limit every single day. I am telling you, my life changed from all those crazy practices. I remember one was it was just pouring rain, and it was like 10-200s sprinting in the rain. I still remember that, and that was forever ago. I will never forget those moments. And for me, there was times when I wanted to quit track, but I remember this bigger picture. I wanted to make the basketball team. Not only that, I had teammates and coaches who cared about me succeeding. They shined for me, and I try to shine a little bit for them. And nowadays, now that I've grown and I've had more experience, I am able to shine more for other people. And that's what I want to do, that's what I really want to do is help people. That this podcast can kind of be a little bit of a little glimmer of hope or a little bit of a flashlight in the darkness of your life or whatever. I just want it to help, and it's something I try to do every day. I try to surround myself with the best possible influences, best books, you name it, best people. I'm trying to surround myself by those people. It really helps. Also trying to shine for those who are struggling, because I've definitely been in that boat before. And without those people reaching out to me, I wouldn't be where I am today. I had this crazy little analogy with this idea. I just thought I'll just share it. So I just like, what is the character in the story of your life doing right now? Imagine you're a superhero. Is he saving the world? Is he making a difference for people, or is he kind of letting his superpowers get lax? Is he kind of being a little bit more just lax with his time? This is the perfect time to do whatever you've been wanting to do in your entire life. You can start doing it right now. Exercise program. You can start it. You can surround yourself by people who shine and who are so good at this and that are willing to train you. And some people will even do it for free, and they have such good resources. This is such a great time to be alive. The superhero I see myself being and becoming takes advantage of opportunities, shines for people that are struggling. And so I try to remember that. When I started my first YouTube channel, I thought of myself as a superhero, me and my friends. Maybe that wasn't the best way to think about it, but for me, it was helpful. So remember tip number 3, shine by spending time with others who shine. Number 4 is stay sharp. So up to this point, we have purposeful creation, abundant compassion, and shine by being around others who shine. And this is a daily thing, guys. That's why it's called Yield Today. It's a daily thing. You know, you have to choose it. But over time, it really just pays off in so many ways. Mentally, physically, spiritually. Seriously, it does. Number 4 is just to stay sharp. When I was the basketball player manager, I saw players who would do super good one game, but you have to perform in the next game too. You cannot just be like, yeah, well, I did really good in this game, so I'm automatically going to be in the lineup. There's sometimes that happens, but for me, it's not that great. Like, you can easily get in a slump that way. And I would really, if you haven't been taking notes, I would at least write this down. Like, you are constantly being able to sharpen your abilities, sharpen your strengths, and it's up to you if you want to get sharper or not. And for those who want to go into game design, there are tons of people who want to get into this right now. And there's some I've seen on Twitter who are getting into it. There's one guy literally started making a game, lost his job, and he's opened it. He released it a month later. He got somebody to do the music. He got somebody to do the art, and he just did all the programming. He focused on what he could do. He focused on his purposeful creation, being compassionate towards people, shining with those who shined, and staying sharp. He focused on it. And, you know, now look where he's at. Now he's a game designer. I'm a wannabe author right now. Once my book is out, it will be a different story. Although, honestly, I don't consider myself a wannabe author. I've been writing long Facebook posts and Instagram posts for a long time. I feel like my writing skills have gotten way better. But even then, you got to stay humble. You got to stay sharp. So that's number 4. Number 5 is never-ending focus. The people that succeed the most in life, I believe, are those who align themselves with a vision and have like focus to get it done. And they do those first 4 things. They have abundant compassion. They purposefully create their days, their habits, everything they do. They shine and help others because they spend time with those who shine. And of course, they stay sharp on what they want to do in their life. You know, they stay focused. I would say this has been like crucial, honestly, because when I've gone through some struggles, those times really help you see how much do you want this. I had some times on my mission trip that were extremely difficult, and I prayed so much so I could love people and so I could become a better person through this experience, in a required undeviated focus towards Christ and towards my goals to get to it. But the thing about trusting in God and trusting in your vision, well, especially trusting in God, it doesn't ever go to waste. You know, he can help you look to your next vision. He can add to your vision. That's what he's done for me. I've had all these different ideas in the last little bit, and it's like, you know what, son, that's a really good idea, but look at this. Like, this is awesome too. And you just got to be open to those options. So it's an interesting thing. You got to be focused on your life, but you also got to be willing to drop everything and go out and help somebody because you've been preparing. You've tried to be sharp. You've tried to have compassion. You've tried to shine around those who shine, so you're shining for them. You've tried to purposely create stuff. Now you got to go and make a difference for that person. You got to focus on that person and help them. And that's Yield Today, guys. That is Yield Today. Okay? That is it. I can go so deep into this. I've been thinking a ton about this acronym and how much it means to me. And it also comes down to just taking action, not waiting, getting things done and trusting that God's going to provide a way, because he always does. That is Yield Today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun recording it for sure. And thank you again for all the support on the podcast lately. I am humbled by the support, and we're going to keep this going. I am so excited for the future. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to yield today, and it will be a better tomorrow.